Okay, as we are approaching spring season, I have some tips for you on how to renew and refresh yourself that I hope you take to heart. Tune in further. I'm about to tell you all the new tips you should be using this spring season. Okay, so we're going to have a little coffee and chat about some of the things I've been doing that have been extremely cleansing, and I would recommend them especially this spring as a way to detox and bring in the new spring season. So the first one is cold plunging. So cold plunging is something that I started back in, October of last year. And I started with just a face cold plunge into a kitchen sink bowl with ice. And I did that for 2 rounds of 30 seconds each. And I've been doing it pretty regularly ever since. And now that we actually do have the brand Plunge, Cold Plunge, we have that at our house underneath our carport. I now do my face within the actual plunge itself. But even if you have a kitchen bowl and you can put ice in it, that will be completely sufficient to actually try out these plunging benefits. Something I've noticed is even from an aesthetic standpoint and also from a personal just wellness, how I feel, how I start my day. So something about my skin that I've noticed is how much more tight that it is. I've noticed that it's actually decreased, feels like my pores are smaller and I feel just much more tightened and clear, and just like it's easier to apply my skincare products. And from a personal standpoint, as far as my wellness, I feel tremendously energized after I even do just a face plunge. What's really unique about the face plunge is, of course, you have to hold your breath going underwater. And with an actual full body plunge, you're not necessarily putting your face underwater, having to hold your breath. So it's kind of unique that you're just targeting that one area of your body. However, I do recommend also a full body plunge. I've taken a bit of a pause doing that as a woman because it's actually a bit different for women than men. I always advise that you consult with your own doctor, your own medical provider to learn more about that. But for me, I actually noticed as long as the temperature of the water is just a little bit below your body temperature, you actually are getting an impact. So you do not necessarily have to have a 39-degree water ice bath full of ice in order to get the benefits of cold plunging. You can actually even have just a maybe 60 something degree water. Anything below your body temperature will still have that impact. And for women, it's also really important to be mindful of when you do the plunging, depending on what time of the month you're in, and also really what season of life. So for me, I'm still in a fertile season of my life, and I try to avoid doing any intense whole body cold plunging during when I'm ovulating and during that certain season of my cycle, because it can have, if you do it too much too often and are not mindful about it, there can be some negative impacts there. So I'm going to link some resources here in the description box just so you can take more of a look into that. Again, I'm not a medical provider or doctor. This is just my own experience, what I've read and learned, and what I've also learned from some experts regarding cold plunging. But the energy that I feel after plunging, the clarity that I feel is really hard to deny. It's something that's been really cool to combine with some breath work in the cold plunge. So something called box breathing is a really great breathing technique that you can do in the plunge to calm your body as you go into this more drastic change of temperature. You can use the breath to actually calm your mind and body. And honestly, by the time I get out of the plunge, I normally do it so far only a couple minutes. I actually could feel myself being able to stay longer. I don't feel myself having to just jump out. It's really interesting to see how your body regulates in the plunge with this box breathing, which is essentially a deep inhale in of 4 counts, and you hold it, the breath hold for 4, and then you release it for 4. And it's just that 4, 4, 4, 4, kind of that box breathing pattern that really is cleansing in nature. Which actually leads me to my second recommendation for cleansing and detox this spring, and that is breathwork. Breathwork is something I talk about tremendously in my content. It changed my life a little over a year ago. It does not even have to be a extensive long breathwork session. That can be very cleansing throughout your day-to-day. It can even be a daily breathwork practice, and something that you could try is even a somatic daily guided breathwork practice. I have several of these on my channel. Even if you go over to Somatic Releases YouTube, I've guided dozens of them also on that channel. But this is essentially a releasing and receiving practice. So you can do it from the comfort of your home, lying down, sitting up like I'm sitting here with my hands on my knees. And you can do this guided practice with the music, with the breath, with the words of the practitioner, and also with their own breath guiding you deeper. And the community is a huge part of this. So having someone guide you is huge, and it allows you to actually go deeper and actually really identify what is it you're trying to release on a body level. What is your soma, your body, telling you that it needs to let go of? And even most importantly, what are you ready to then bring back in? So this breathwork practice is 2 rounds of 30 breaths, and the first half is more of a clearing, releasing breath, deep diaphragm 360 breaths like this. And notice how my whole back and diaphragm fill up. I could even link here a video, put up a video showing you, demonstrating what this breath work looks like. But it's extremely beneficial to actually go into your body without thinking too much about the breath. It's rather basic breathing patterns and that clearing breath, and then you go into a breath hold to allow space to digest, and then more repatterning gentle breathing, which is deep inhales through the nose and long exhales out through the mouth. So it allows you to just really focus on those simple breathing patterns and then identify in your body what is coming up for you, what messages, what emotions, what expressions do you need to let go of, and then what do you want to bring back in? What is it that's been blocked from something you've been carrying that maybe was never yours to carry in the first place? So this breath work is an incredible tool to actually cleanse yourself and detox the spring. And it actually, by the end of it, it takes you really into like a meditative state. So really I kind of combine like meditation and breath work kind of together. I never was able to meditate. Maybe you're like me, or maybe you love to meditate and this is something you'd like to try in addition. But it's really helped me allow my body and allow myself to be inward and actually allow myself to really go into a meditative state and visualize how I want to show up for my day. So the breath work has been an incredible tool. So far we have cold plunging, whether that be face or full body. We have the somatic breath work, and then also grounding, being outside, being connected with nature. Even if you can take just 10 minutes of your day, some point of your day to be outside, maybe it's going for a walk. I've discovered that just movement in general and not overthinking my fitness has actually been very beneficial to how I feel and show up. And just being outside, getting some of that vitamin D, getting that connection with yourself and your body. I actually have a free 5-day journey basically that teaches you a lot more about grounding and what that means and what that can do for you and why it's so beneficial to really be connected to literally the ground. And that would be like dirt, sand, grass, soil, anything along those lines that really connects you to the earth. It's really just an energizing tool, and it really allows you just to release and you feel a little bit lighter. And sometimes it's hard to identify the why. You just kind of know it when you feel it. And that's something that's been really, really helpful for me. And as a little bit of a bonus renewal and replenishing recommendation, I also suggest somatic awareness exercises. And you can do this while you are grounding outside, or even if you're about to begin your daily breathwork practice and then go into a meditation. This awareness exercise, and again, I also have a free guided basically journey that takes you through what this is, why it's beneficial. So I will link that either in the description box below or even after this video. I'll have a link to that free opportunity for you. But this allows you to connect and identify exactly what it is you're feeling on a soma body level. So you begin with what physical sensations you're feeling in your body, and you slowly begin to identify that. Eyes closed, soft breathing, just connecting inward. And then the second step is actually just the emotions. Can you identify, I'm noticing fear, I'm noticing stress, I'm noticing happiness or joy, and identifying what are the emotions in that moment as you're doing this check-in that you are feeling. And then the very last step is actually then identifying the story, which kind of gets into the mental component of this. We've broken down the physical sensations. Maybe it's tension, maybe it's tightness, maybe you feel loose, maybe you feel butterflies in your stomach. Identifying those, and then identifying the actual emotions only you are experiencing, and then finally the story. And a lot of times you can connect with what it is that is in the way and how you can actually see all these kind of come together, and maybe they all do connect together and relate. And then from there, coming up with what is that one intention. Usually one intention that you feel before doing a breathwork practice, beginning your day, the first word that comes to mind is often, that is the intention. So it's important not to overthink that, but this awareness exercise allows you to connect within your soma, within your body, maybe while you're doing grounding, maybe even while you're in a cold plunge. A lot of times I like to more use that as a cleansing, just to become aware of the breath, and a tool for me just to challenge my body. But maybe you even do this exercise in the cold plunge. You could try that. Maybe I'll try it and send a video here or on my Instagram that you could follow and see. But just as a little bonus for you, wanted to share that somatic awareness exercise technique. And the very final tip I would recommend today is a juice cleanse. So I had never actually done a juice cleanse ever, or really any cleanse in that way, any extensive cleanse, but I actually did a 3-day juice cleanse. That was this past September, and I've done a couple others since then. And this truly does allow your body to just connect within the nutrients of the juices, connecting within what it is your body is exactly feeling, and maybe what it is your relationship with food looks like in that moment. And maybe your body just needs to fully just let go of toxins maybe that you've consumed over the last several months, and just even that alone physically can be beneficial. But you also will notice a very spiritual and emotional experience from this. You can notice emotions that do come up. Something that came up for me was how I procrastinate eat. Times when I'm not even hungry, and even if the food is actually nourishing, I'll find myself going to eat just to procrastinate something that I need to do. And then that allows you to kind of step even deeper and say, why am I procrastinating this at all? And then that leads you even deeper to something maybe you need to be aware of. So juice cleanses are phenomenal. Make sure that you find a company, or maybe it's a local small business, where you know the juices are fresh, they're whole, full, organic, great juice that is not just full of any additives, any artificial sweeteners that will not give you the full benefit of a true juice cleanse, but also a business that can walk you through it, that can provide you with all the juices, provide you with any advice of what might happen during a juice cleanse. Fatigue could be something. You could have headaches. You could have emotional kind of roller coasters. It definitely takes your body through a cleansing journey, and through that detoxing, there can be discomfort. But something that's been really cool for me is the connection to my soma. So I hope that you can take this recommendation and learn more about your body, more about yourself, more about your connection maybe with food, and how you can go into the new season, spring, renewal, replenishing season, more connected with yourself and connected with exactly what your body needs. So as a breakdown, this coffee, I ended up setting my coffee down because I was using my hands a lot, but this breakdown is different things you can do this spring season, this renewal, replenishing techniques you can do, these new tools that are hopefully can it transform your life, transform this season and onward. So we have cold plunging, we have somatic breathwork exercises, we even have meditation with that. We have grounding and somatic awareness exercises, and we also have juice cleansing. So hopefully this allowed your wheels to turn a little bit with different ideas, maybe things you want to look more into. Always it's encouraged to do your own research and dive into different areas of your life that maybe you want to learn more about before you just jump into recommendations that you find online. So I highly encourage your own research here. I will link any helpful links in the description below that could guide you further into these different recommendations. But ultimately, simple is good, less is more, and just take it one day at a time. Don't try to do so many things at once, and just allow yourself to process and really go slow with whether it be these recommendations or any that you see online. So sending you so much love, and I will see you in the next video here. Besos. Okay, a bonus tip is to get kisses from your dog, because that's the best way to renew yourself this spring. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Be sure to subscribe if you like this video, and let me know what else you want to see. I'm about to get much more consistent with my YouTube, and I cannot wait to have you there. Besos.